Welcome everyone, hi. I'm just gonna let Gareth join us. Hi.
Hello. Hey,
How are you?
not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you for inviting me on.
No, that's okay. It'll be good to chat. We've had a lot of these, so we were like, we have to use you guys because we have so many clients go to you. So it'd be good
Yeah.
to see, what difference you have from the other people that we've spoken to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm just going to let a few more people join before
Yeah.
we
Sure.
start chatting. But have you
Sure.
had a nice day so far?
Yeah, we've actually just got a new garden set, so
Oh, lovely.
I'm
Enjoying
sitting
the
on it,
sun.
sitting on it right now, and there you go. And I've just been putting it together all day, so this
Oh,
is,
ooh, fancy.
there you go.
That's lovely.
So up until now, we've been sitting on a picnic blanket. So
No, that looks great. Lovely.
so I've literally finished about half an hour ago. How are you? How's things with you guys?
Yeah, good. We're keeping busy. It's good news that things are starting to open back up as of next
Yeah,
month. So
definitely.
we're hoping that that's going to be the same with auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been fine. We've been actually really busy.
Are they? I was going to say, are there many castings going on, like with self tapes and all of that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's been self-tape crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
actually. But I mean, it isn't the same as going into the room and having that
No.
experience. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to things. Hopefully, starting up in the next few weeks. Same as you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's obviously a lot of things that need to be put in place before things
Yeah.
go. But yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Start
Sure.
asking you all the questions.
Yeah.
So why don't you start by telling everyone a bit about you and your company and how you got there and
Yeah. So I originally was a performer. And I sort of got into performing and dancing and photography at the same time. I was about 15 years old. So I started going to an associate school at Atelier Conti, and not long after that, I picked up a camera. And then I'm quite badly dyslexic, so I was like, I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to go to university or anything, and sort of performing was there for me because I'd been to an associate school. So I went to Atelier Conti at the Barbican, and probably by the time I was in my second year, I was sort of doing everybody's headshots, like all my mates throughout the college, here, there, and everywhere. And I think, because I got introduced into sort of the headshot formula quite early on in my love for photography, it's always sat quite naturally to me. You see a lot of people that maybe not be headshot photographers, and they don't quite really get that format or get that finish or get that look or that feel. So I think just because I've been around it for so long, it sits quite naturally with me. So then I graduated from Italia Conti, and I went off and did my career, and I was out in Germany for a few years, and sort of the camera always just followed me. And yeah, luckily, throughout my performing career, when I wasn't in a contract, I managed to pick up enough work to support my life outside. When I was auditioning and hustling to get the jobs.
side business.
Exactly, yeah. And then the last contract that I was doing, I met Lizzie on, and I was sort of feeling like that perhaps, performing had come to the end of the road for me, and photography was sort of that next step for me. So Lizzie trained as a makeup artist when we finished that contract, and that's when we sort of formulated Franklin and Bailey and started working together and making it this thing. Before that, I used to shoot my own, and yeah, I was sort of a lone ranger. And then Lizzie did her makeup, and I decided that I was going to go all out with the photography and build Franklin and Bailey. So then it was about 2 years ago that we took on our own studio, and yeah, it's been great since then. And
It's
yeah,
a
it's
lovely
just,
studio as well.
yeah, you know, we shoot from 1,000 square foot studio. We've got our own makeup room. It's got a nice big separate bathroom, and the shooting space within it is probably about, 700 square foot as the actual photography studio. We've
Yeah.
got lovely big natural window light, and we've got a big cove in it, so you can do sort of a lot of fashion and portfolio photography. And I think, that's, as much as I love doing headshots, I also love doing the portfolio stuff.
Yeah.
And I think in today's world, in performing arts, like, I often hear, often people will come to me and say to me, do I need portfolio shots? And I'm like, no, your headshot is absolutely essential. But then everything else you have around that just adds to your package.
Yeah.
If you've got portfolio shots, if you've got a show reel, if you've got a vocal reel, the more stuff you can have when you're
Yeah.
graduating, the stronger your 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 representation of yourself can be. And
Yeah.
you might look back in 3 years and go, oh, I never used my voice reel. I never used my portfolio shots. I never used this. But you might look back and go, I'm only in this job or this career path now because I had portfolio
Yeah.
shots, because I had this,
I agree.
So that's always what I say. Right, when you're coming up to graduating or just after graduating, I would always say, just get it all and then review it in 3 years' time or maybe before,
Yeah.
2-3 years' time. Do I need to update this? Do I not? So yeah, now I stopped performing about 5 years ago, and I've been full time with my photography for about 2.5 years now, and 2.5-3 years.
That's
Before
so,
that, I was juggling other bits and pieces, supporting
yeah.
my life, and yeah, now it's just been busy.
That's so good though.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great way of like going from just something as a hobby and then using it as your next career step. That's like amazing.
Yeah. I always say that to performers. I think we're lucky that in performing arts, it's generally full of people that are conversationalists. They can communicate. They talk to people.
Yeah.
They're willing to give things a go. Performers tend to be interested in things. Whatever it might be. I find like if you're a performer, you have to. If you're an actor, you have to get into scripts. If you're a dancer, you have to get into dance, and you have to have that sort of level of focus.
Yeah.
I think that dissipates into other genre areas of your life. And I always say, if you have interests outside of performing, you don't need to be obsessed with them, but just nurture them. Because one day, then you might want to do something else as well as performing.
Yeah.
But you might want to do something else, and having that something else there, which for me was photography, might end up being your next career.
Exactly. So we'll move on to the one of the questions that we've been having. So how long does a full headshot session usually last with you guys?
Yeah, so we have our sort of standard 3-hour headshot session, which includes a makeup artist, and then we shoot afterwards. Makeup tends to take 45 minutes to an hour. It's normally about an hour. Once you get in, you hang your clothes up. It tends to be about an hour, and then we spend about 2 hours shooting.
Yeah.
Throughout that sort of 2 hours, there might be a few little touch-ups and changes. I will always shoot in that 3-hour session at least 3 different setups with 2 tops on each setup.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might switch up the setups a little bit more, depending on what the light's doing. If I've got good natural light, or we need to use a bit more studio light and that sort of thing. But yeah, the standard session is 3 hours. I do offer a session without a makeup artist, and that's an hour and a half, which tends to be about an hour and 20 minutes shoot time. I still shoot the same amount of setups with the same amount of tops, but obviously, there's not so much time to just sit and chat a little bit.
Yeah, you can get to know the person.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The hour and a half session is great, especially if you've had sessions before and you know what you're coming into.
Yeah.
I do sometimes think that longer session lets you come into the studio. You're in the makeup room for like an hour. You just can settle into your space a little bit, especially if you're feeling nervous. One of the things that I've never wanted clients to feel is like they're rushed. So that's why some of our sessions, they are quite a length. But that's so that people don't feel like they come in and they're rushed out. And also the time in the makeup chair, our makeup artists are either Lizzie or Amy and Fiona I work with as well as makeup artists. and that's all part of feeling like relaxed and
Yeah,
getting ready for your shoot.
I was going to say. Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of our 2 headshot sessions that we offer.
Okay. Yeah, so I was going to say, it's good to have that time to relax, because some people find it really nerve-wracking having their headshots done. I know I did. I used to hate having my headshots taken, but I think it's because it's all about you, and you're like, oh god, I've got nowhere to hide.
Yeah, definitely. I think so many performers feel like that as well, and especially when we do the portfolio stuff. I have so many performers say to me before shooting, "Oh, I'm not a model, and I've only had my pictures done once before. I'm never before. I'm really nervous." And of course, you're going to be nervous because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
But that's like 95% of the people that come in the studio.
Yeah.
That's just part of it, and that performer in most of us just switches on, and after a while, like I say, the sessions are meant to be a nice length, so they don't feel rushed, and you just sort of relax into it and find your own stride.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good. Okay, what colors would you recommend in terms of like clothing that would like be the best in a photo shoot?
Yeah, so certainly colours not to wear are like super bright colours, sitting onto like luminous colours, bright yellows, bright oranges. I do like a bit of brighter colour, especially as an option. It tends to have a slightly younger feel about it, but you can almost guarantee that pastel colours are always like a safe bet. Pastel greens, that sort of khaki green, that sort of lovely sort of mustardy, pastely yellow, the pastely oranges. They're just sort of softer, and the tones tend to sit nice with skin tones.
Yeah.
You do have to consider whether you're sort of darker skinned or lighter skinned. Certain colours are going to sit better on that. Yeah. And I also find that sometimes choosing colours that, if you've got bright blue eyes, picking like a nice blue colour to emphasise that, or colours to contrast against blues, like a nice green even, it can really make them stand out and pop. So really, I would say my favourite colours to shoot are pastels. They tend to, you sort of, somebody pulls out all their tops and they hang them all up, and they've got a lovely variety of pastely soft, nice colours. You sort of know, I'm going to get a nice variety out of this.
Yeah. So when people come in with their tops, do you tend to have like an influence on what they're going to be wearing for the session?
Yeah, I always ask people, with headshot sessions, like, you can almost bring, I'm going to say, as many tops as you like.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to turn up with a holiday suitcase full of tops. But if we're going to shoot, we will always shoot sort of 6 tops. And if you brought 15, it would be really easy for me to normally just find the 6 that jump out the best. So I like to have a choice out of the choice. But if you came with 6 tops and you're like, these are my 6 tops, this is what I love, then that's absolutely fine. Yeah, absolutely. But I do say, when people book, they get a PDF, and I do always, it says in there about bringing in a variety, because, also sometimes some tops work better with, say, studio light, and some tops will work better with natural light.
Yeah.
So depending on what light we have on the day, giving me some choice will hopefully lead to the client having a better shot as well.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So what type of style tops are a good option for both musical theatre shots and commercial shots?
Commercial shots. I think with commercial shots, you can go with something that feels a little sort of edgier with commercial shots. With music, you can get stuff with more of a commercial headshot. You might be able to get a bit more of a pattern into it. Maybe something that feels, that feels more commercial. A hoodie, a sort of more commercial T-shirt that might be baggier. But I think, something that will cross over. I would still shoot something that has a simple pattern on it, but or block color. I also feel like sometimes it's the lighting and the setup that can make it feel, and the energy of the client that makes it feel more commercial. If somebody says to me, "Oh, can we do some more slightly commercially styled headshots?" then I'd sort of I would edge the photography to that side of it,
and
then look at their tops to see what feels more suited to it. But I think it is slightly down to how you feel more commercial. You know, we all know that if I was sitting in a shirt like this, it's not going to be anything commercial.
Yeah.
But you could wear a white t-shirt and make it feel, lighting wise, like a nice straight musical theatre shot. Or you could then twist the posing, the lighting up a little bit more, same white t-shirt, but it would feel more commercial.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's a conversation that needs to be had with the photographer and the client.
Yeah.
Say, I want a more of a commercial edge on this, and then you can work onto that.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. That's cool. What would you recommend makeup wise? I mean, I know obviously this is probably more
No, absolutely not.
What would you recommend more makeup wise for both female and male shots?
So we last year we started doing makeup workshops in a lot of the colleges, and we've been into Lanes, we've been into Millennium, we've been into Bodywork, we've been into loads. I can't even think of so many of them right now.
Yeah.
Because I think makeup is such an important part, right? And we go in and we do these makeup workshops, and they're completely free to the college. We just go in and we do them, and the client, you know, the students have no obligation to come to us for their headshots. There is nothing, and it simply comes out of the fact that I see so many people making often drastic, simple mistakes, even better, simple, drastic mistakes in headshot sessions, that they'll look back and they'll go, why did I do that makeup? You know, I don't do makeup like that anymore, and it's only 2 years down the line, or it's a year down the line.
Yeah.
So we go in and do these workshops to try and show people, or try and get people to understand that the best makeup for women, I feel, is something that's really classic, simple, and basic, really. But it's still got to be fresh faced, well applied, and try to stay away from like trending makeup.
Yeah.
Because the makeup you might wear isn't the makeup you're going to get to wear in the show.
Yeah.
You know, so you might think, oh, I love this heavier contour. I like these more, you know, darker eyebrows, or like eyeliner, or contouring down the bridge of my nose, or a heavier lip line. But if you're going to be in Hairspray, or Grease, or Dirty Dancing, or Les Mis, or Phantom, they're not going to let you do a heavy contour, or a lip line, or a heavy brow, or any of that. So the best makeup you can do is a nicely fresh face that's open, and it looks as much like your face as possible.
Yeah.
So often people warp and change the shape of their face by these makeup tricks.
Yeah.
And if you get into the show, and when you get into the show, they will show you the sort of makeup they want from you. Or they'll certainly stop you doing the makeup they don't want from you.
Yeah. And also,
and then
like,
for guys,
in their face, you can change like your nose and everything.
Yeah.
You might not even look like you anymore.
No, exactly. And you know, when you audition for a show, really, they need to be able to see what you look like. And makeup can do an amazing job of hiding what you look like. And to a degree, you know, if you've got really bad skin and you need to cover that up a little bit more, or certain things like that, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, because you also need to feel confident and comfortable.
Exactly.
But you should look as much like you, and I would say stay away from makeup trends for auditions. You know, if it's an audition for a commercial job, then that's something completely different. because that job's probably going to be in the next 6 months. It's a commercial job, and that makeup is fashionable, possibly fashionable and usable for that.
Yeah.
But for a show, you know, that you're not going to get to wear your makeup. So think about it being nice and fresh, simple, well applied, and it looks like you. And then for guys, it's much the same thing. You know, if you feel more comfortable wearing makeup because you might have bad skin, or you just feel more confident with makeup on, make sure it's simple, you know, and that it's fresh. You know, I know there's more and more guys wearing heavier makeup, and we've had guys that come to the studio wanting to wear heavier makeup. But, you know, I think unless you're being cast for something, you know, I'm not saying that you're going to be wearing Priscilla makeup, but if you're going for Priscilla and you want a slightly heavier makeup look for it, not bright coloured Priscilla style, but something that makes you feel more contoured and more defined with the brows, then you might be able to do something like that. But again, guys, you know, on the front of it are normally cast straight up as guys, or you then get cast and you get put up for those other characters within the show. But your headshot, again, should still look like you. Because the wigs department or the makeup department, if as a guy you're going to be made up, will look at the shape of your face and know how to apply that makeup onto it.
Yeah.
But if you're already applying all that makeup, they don't know the shape of your face, and the wigs and makeup department will look at you and go, I need to know what you look like without it as well.
Exactly.
So, again, it's about, you know, not changing what you look like, I think, is important.
Perfect. Okay. Do you have any tips for getting into the groove in a session? You kind of already touched on like losing your nerves, you know, but do you have any tips for, you know, people on their way there that might help them, you know, lose their beginner's nerves for their first job?
I think one of the great things, personally, is music. I always have music playing in the studio, and I find it can just sort of sets a pace, an atmosphere. It's more relaxing. You know, it doesn't feel like you're in a waiting room because, you know, you got something. There's ambient sound. I think if you're on the way to a shoot, again, get tuned into something that makes you feel relaxed and more excited about it.
Yeah.
And I also think, you know, your photos, that's something to be excited about. You know, it's about being proactive with your career, and you're making steps to, you know, create your brand, your identity within the career, your package. Exactly. So sometimes I think it's, of course, right, throughout your whole career, and I know I used to get so nervous with auditions, especially when I then got to the singing rounds. I used to get so nervous, and you sort of have to just change the way you look at it. If you got to, instead of going, oh God, I feel nervous about this, go, God, I feel so excited because I'm doing something. You know, I'm so excited. I've got through to the singing round. I'm one step closer, rather than going, oh my God, I've got to sing my song, and I'm so nervous about it because I haven't practiced it enough. Too late if you haven't practiced enough. Go in and own it. I'm so nervous for my photo shoot. Bang, you're on your way. Go, this is productive, proactive. This is about me creating my package. So I often think so much within a career and the industry, mindset is everything. You know,
it really is.
You know, spin it on the head and make it exciting and positive. That is always what I try to do with the stuff I do.
No, that's good. That's really good. Okay, how many shots should I come away with from one of your sessions?
So I think from a headshot session, how many shots do you need to come away with is one really good shot.
Yeah.
That's it. There's in our 3-hour headshot session, there's 3 that are included with the shoot. And all too often, right, people can be so hard on themselves. The more I shoot now, and the more I realise that, you know, some people I look at, I think they're just beautiful, handsome, amazing. And then I show them the back of the camera, and they're like, I'm like, no, you look great. Like, honestly, you know, and they're so hard on themselves. So that's why now I say, look, ultimately, you need a couple of shots out of this that
Yeah.
are that you feel comfortable and confident behind. People are so hard on themselves,
They
and
are.
I can go through so many shoots, right? So through so many shots and look and think that's great, that's great, that's great, that's great. And you could probably show a handful of other people the same shots and they go, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great. And you show the client and they go, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. Right? But we, as individuals, are the worst judges of our
Yes.
own pictures, more often than not. There are
Because
a few.
you don't see yourself in that, do you? You don't see yourself because there's no filter on that. And also, like all the stuff that you've got going on, it's like, you know, social media and stuff. It's you have a different perception of what you look like.
Exactly.
So when you have a true picture of yourself, you're like, oh god.
Right. There was another photographer that told me this great thing that I use for clients that only look at their flaws or what they perceive as their flaws.
Yeah.
Right. And the FedEx logo. His name is Mark Wilshire. He shared this with me, so I'll credit him for it because I use it so much. Did I use it on your shoot?
No, I don't think so. No.
So, within the FedEx logo, there's an arrow. Okay, so anybody watching this, if you can find the arrow, message me. If you can't, message me. Right, because there's an arrow in the FedEx logo. Right, and as soon as you see it, you will always see it. And there's an arrow in it because on the side of the lorry, the arrow points in the direction that the lorry's going. That will help you find it. Right, so so many people know what the FedEx sign is, and 98% of people, I ask them, have you seen the arrow in the FedEx logo? They say no. I show them the FedEx logo. Can you see it? No. Are you sure you can't see an arrow? No. Then I show them where the arrow is. All they can see is that arrow. And my point to the client is that arrow are the flaws that you see in yourself. Somebody else will look at your headshot and they won't see your arrows because they're not looking at your arrows. You look at your arrows, but until you show them, then they might see them. Yeah. So a headshot is all about the whole energy and the whole picture, everything. Not if you've got a slightly lazy eye or a slightly wonky smile or a slightly lifted eyebrow or whatever you don't like about yourself. It's about that shot that you look at and goes, that feels right. Yeah, that's a good picture. Oh, my eyebrows up slightly. Well, that might add to it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
No, that's good. Someone's just Georgia's just said she googled it and she's seen it now. I'll never run.
Good.
Okay. What would you recommend? Shiny or matte lipsticks? Which photographs better?
I prefer not shiny, but something that feels like that feels like your lips are moist. I too often with a headshot I find matte lipsticks very quickly start to crack, or they don't feel too. They don't pop. I personally like something with a little bit of a shine behind it, not like these glossy shiny lipsticks, but something that will catch a little bit of light,
like a natural, like if you didn't have anything on your lips, what your natural lips would look like.
Like you've just almost like like they're fresh. You know something that's nice and fresh, and that it's got that freshness about it. I don't mind matte, and if sometimes a matte red is nice because it's now if you doing a red lip, you've got that nice deep red tone in it. So that's nice. And some other colours are matte. Yeah, it does carry a nice depth to it. But I would say for the percentage of your shoot, if you're going for your headshot somewhere, I would say for the percentage of your shoot, you want something that your lips feel just sort of fresh and vibrant. Matte lipsticks don't do dry lips any favours.
I can't wear matte lip. My lips are always dry. I'm one of those people, so I can't never wear matte lipstick. But
it's a good question. I like that question, to be fair. That's a fair question.
So I've got, which one? What are your favourite locations? So I know you have your own photography studio and you change the settings, stuff. You can always kind of tell when someone's been to you, whether they're a client or not. You're like, that is a Franklin and Bailey headshot. Just tell, because the setup is just like unique. It's kind of got your stamp on it.
Yeah.
But if you were to shoot in a location, what would be like your favourite and why?
So I think so. This for me goes more into sort of portfolio-y fashion stuff, and which is why I love shooting portfolio fashion stuff, because if you can get out on location, you can start to really use the environment around the model to add to the picture. A
Yeah.
headshot, so often you're isolating, you know, you might have stuff in the background, or you might use a canvas, or but the soul, everything in a headshot leads to the person, how
Yeah.
they feel, what their energy is, everything like that. But with portfolio stuff and fashion stuff, if you're out on location, you can use those locations to add to it.
Mm.
It was last summer actually. I did a shoot with this girl Ella Starbuck, and she's a fantastic model as well as performer. And we went into London, and we were shooting just around London. And there's this awesome shot of her sitting on this stack of newspapers with a red London bus going behind her,
Oh,
you know, and we
yeah.
were just out snapping away, and I was like, sit on those papers. We just got this bus coming by, and you know, I think being able to get outside and use moments like that, you know,
Yeah.
sort of the locations that you can't always create. But then on the same hand, you know, when, you know, we're getting lovely light at the end of the day now, and you can get beautiful low light fashiony shots, and using that sort of low directional light, you just can't beat it, you know. And especially when at the end of the day the light gets warmer, and sort of using that for fashion commercial stuff. Round the back of my studio, I get this lovely sort of channel of light falling down when the sun drops. And at this time of year, if I was shooting more, you know, I'd definitely be getting out there to use that for portfolio stuff, because
Yeah.
it looks, you can't beat it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like natural lighting is sometimes the best, isn't it?
Yeah, especially like when you get that lovely sort of 45-degree and dropping down lower with the sun.
Yeah.
It is really lovely. But yeah, just getting out on locations sometimes and just playing with what's around. I do love the industrial sort of feel of things,
Yeah.
you know, and hard light with white walls, natural light outside with portfolio stuff, I think always looks great. But yeah, just playing with what's around you, really.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I sort of say to a lot of new sort of upcoming photographers. Sometimes it's just about getting out and taking the pictures, you know, and going somewhere that you think is going to be interesting. London Barbican, great spot to do sort of fashion commercial stuff around there.
Yeah.
It's interesting architecture, and you just got to get out and shoot and take the crap and eventually take the good stuff as well.
Yeah, good. So obviously, studios have been given the go-ahead to reopen
Yes.
from the 15th. So that's exciting news for you guys. Are you guys taking bookings? Like, how will that work with you?
Yes. So at the moment, I basically reached out to all of our current bookings last week, and just sort of started to say, because obviously hairdressers can't open yet, and
Yeah.
a lot of people need their hair redoing, be it cutting or colouring, or
Yeah.
with guys sharpening up.
Yeah.
So I just sort of touched base with a lot of people just to say, look, for June, I was planning just to shoot on my own. It's really easy for me to keep 2 meters away from a client.
Yeah.
The studio is big space. You know, I only shoot 2 a day at max. Sometimes it's 1 a day. So sort of hygiene of it all and cleaning it and keeping it all nice really isn't a problem. The issue that I started to find when I was calling around people was, one, people have gone home. You know,
Yeah.
they might have gone up back to Scotland or Ireland or Manchester, blah, blah, blah. Hairdressers not being open, you know,
Yeah.
people needing haircuts. And then also from our side with the makeup at the moment, it's still a little bit difficult to know how to proceed with that.
Yeah.
We are actually fortunate. The garden centre here that's opened sell the whole range of PPE stuff.
Oh,
So
so good.
we are going to go buy some visors so
Yeah.
that, you know, hopefully if from the 15th they give us a bit more information and it's okay for us to provide a makeup service with obviously the PPE protection with visors and gloves and whatnot, then yeah, we've still got a lot of bookings in, so we're just juggling things around.
Yeah.
But I am currently shooting on my own for the whole of June. If people book at the moment, I've been saying they'll get a £50 discount if it's without a makeup artist.
Yeah.
I've been saying at the moment that we can't provide a makeup artist for June, just with everything that's going on, but we plan to be fully up and running for July. So July is pretty packed at the moment because everybody's been sort of like jumping back from whenever it started, 2 weeks early, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, and then so everybody's sort of moved into July and August at the moment. But if people are looking for headshot sessions without a makeup artist and they are in the position to shoot, then I am shooting, and the booking system is live and available for people to get on and book on.
That's on your website, right?
On the website, yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, hopefully from July we will be fully up and running. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully. But thank you so much for joining me today.
Not at all.
Been a good chat.
Lizzie's just got back a minute ago. Let's say hello.
Oh no! Hi, Lizzie.
So sorry, I've just put Lucas down for a nap, and that was tricky.
And,
no, bless you.
how do I spin the camera around? Can I spin the camera around? Oh, I don't know. And then Archie's sitting there.
Oh, hi, Archie. Bless him. Where's his bow tie gone?
We take his collar off when we're at home.
Oh, bless him.
The bow tie is on the collar, so but when we're at home, he doesn't wear it. He walks around naked.
Oh, bless him. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sure this is going to help like loads of people when they've been worried about certain things like clothes, nerves and that kind of stuff. So we're going to keep it on our Instagram so people can rewatch it over and over again. But yeah, thank you. And I hope everything goes well the next couple of weeks and you get rolling again.
Yes, hopefully so. And if anybody's got any questions or queries or concerns about shooting or booking, just give me a call or an email and we'll sort everything out.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you so much for having us.
That's okay.
See you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.